Hello, my dear Gemini, and welcome to your reading. I do apologize, my heater's on in the background, so if you hear a little rumbling sound, that's what that is. We're going to go through the medicine wheel spread, and it does go clockwise, however, you will see it reversed. So I do apologize because we are in a reflection of the camera there. So this is derived from this Sacred Path cards deck from Jamie Sam's, which is this orange card deck here. So we'll start there. We're going to start with your past, and we have a retreat. So kind of that 2020 energy. This is your cognitive focus, what it is your mindset is thinking about, and it's a power place. So there's some empowerment going on here. Maybe some connection to the earth and doing some grounding, because I do feel that for you. You know, this year has been a little flighty, and we're going to be talking about that as we go about here. You will see me flip the cards quite often. A lot of my decks do not have a reversal meaning, so sometimes they get flipped, but don't worry. So your spirit guide message, or your messages from the spirit realm there, is about boundaries. So it's actually quite interesting because this is very similar, right? There's this little bit of a closed down energy and feeling of you know, feeling disrupted, or feeling as though your personal space has been a little bit out of sorts. So some topsy-turvy energy there, but to be expected with the time that we're in. So as we dive deeper, we'll get into a little bit of what you're being called to do, what you're being called to focus on, and perhaps this is what you're being led to, right, is to put up some boundaries, to be thinking of your empowerment and some confident stuff. So into your future, where we're headed is the Sweat Lodge, which is purification. So this is about letting stuff go. Traditionally, people would go into the Sweat Lodge in order to, of course, sweat, but they use lava rock. And it's not by accident that they use lava rock. It's that most attached to the earth. It's the freshest rock out of the earth. So again, with the grounding and the feeling of the dirt beneath your feet, right? For a lot of us, it's rather cold, so we have a little bit of a harder time going into that state of being fully grounded and feeling that earthly plane, right? So right in the center of your reading here, we have understanding. Beautiful. So more rocks here. For some reason, the rocks are really standing out to me. But we also have a river flowing. It's springtime energy. So this reminds me a lot of new beginnings. And we're coming up to this new year, but not before Monday, the 21st of December. We have this beautiful conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn, where they'll be in the exact same place to our naked eye, and have not been in that same place since the birth of Jesus of Nazareth. So this beautiful Christ-like consciousness is coming forward, that the Christians are talking about, you know, the second coming, and astrologers are talking about the grand conjunction. And it's really this beautiful new awakening. The ancient Mayans talked about the 2012 awakening, and it turns out that had we not adopted the Georgian calendar in the 1500s, we would be in the year 2012 right now. So I am actually going to be doing a live video in my group. The link will be in the description box, so let me know if you're interested in hearing more about this. That will be a live video that has a replay. So we have this understanding card. It is to say you're on this bridge, right? Like I mentioned, this topsy-turvy energy. No matter where you stand on the ladder, your position will be shaky. So I'm feeling that shaky, unnerved feeling here, and the stones are that grounding energy that brings you back to the surface here. We're going to dive in now to the Lenormand, and this is a card deck that you just read like a sentence from left to right. Okay, so let's go through this. We have the fish, which represent abundance, but it is in reverse, but nothing to worry about. We have your Empire here. This is the Tower card, but unlike the traditional tarot, the Tower in this deck is really about that empowered, you know, delegation and the empire that you build and the castle that you reside in. So it is upside down, but again, just kind of a reminder of that topsy-turvy energy. We then have the letters, we have the anchor, and we have the child. A very interesting sentence here. So I feel like the child is more your childlike self, more than I feel it's you having a child or being blessed with a child, anything like that. It could be, it could, because we do have the grounded energy here, which is that mothery, Mother Earth energy. The green here kind of signifies that as well. But you're having a little bit of thoughts about your finances and about your ability to build and to prepare, right? And it's a little bit too in the mind. Like I said, you're being called here for a purification and then to rise to empowerment. So that's kind of here too, right? The fish are underwater, water being cleansing, and then we build the castle. So it's like when we clear space, we then manifest the bigger things. And you can expect some good news coming your way. These letters do signify getting letters or getting messages or hearing back from, say, a job, or perhaps like a fertility doctor, because that could be here, but not going to be for everybody. Okay. And then we have the grounded energy, and we have that again with this greenery here and with the stones. So there's kind of a call here for grounding, and the result is the child, or it's a childlike bewilderment and wonderment, right? So thinking here of what makes the world magical, and you know, what really invites my soul to sing. That's more where we're going with that. So next we're going to pull a card about something a little bit more nostalgic. This might be things that you're releasing. It may be something that's been held back or suppressed up until recently. And what we have is feeling loved and feeling proud. And that's exactly right. So we have this, this feeling of being nurtured. There's a lot of nurturing here in this reading. So a lot of us, we really just kind of have to do this for ourselves. And I love how these really do go together. Oh my goodness, we've got a lot of synchronicity here. I mean, you see how this bird is being held. It's almost like it's in a cage, but it's not. It's being held close to a bosom, and it's this really heartfelt growth here. And then we have a child here in this sacred space. We have the sweat lodge here, which is a safe space. And then we have the moon lodge here, which is also like a retreat center for women back in the old times when they were going through their moon time. They had a moon lodge, so that monthly time. So this is just all the same message, which is to say, nurture yourself. And in so doing, you will nurture where it is you're headed. You will be nurturing your next step, your action plan, your goals, right? So let's move forward into what those goals are and see what it is that you're focusing on right now and where you are headed. So what is Gemini thinking about, wondering about, manifesting? Pleasure. Interesting. So again, with this new beginning and this beautiful pathway, right, to this unknown, I feel like there's a huge similarity here between this center card. I mean, the feeling is the same, right? There's this beautiful movement here. So maybe there's a little bit of stagnation because we have so much of the grounding, so much of the nestled in and the nurturing. Now it's like, are you really enjoying that? Are you having a good time hunkered down, right? And you know, this is just so fitting for 2020 and the year that it's been. But it's an understanding that you deserve joy and that you manifest what it is that you think about. So as you're thinking about this path forward and, you know, this blossoming springtime, you are able to focus on it in a gentle manner that's good for the soul and that's good for your mind. And again, we're hearing good news. There's lots of good news coming to you about this transit, about what's going on. So let's move forward into your spirit message that's going to guide you farther and farther into this kind of an awakening period. And as you're going through this, you are quite literally changing the future. That's just how I'm feeling. So we have this action card here, another sort of mystical creature, and it says, do not hesitate. Movement creates the magic. Nothing can hold you back. Wow. I mean, you just really cannot make this stuff up. We just talked about how I'm really feeling like moving forward, new beginnings. And now it's saying, don't hesitate and embrace that movement, embrace where you're going. And where you're going is this beautiful purification, this feeling that all is well, this feeling that you cannot be held back. And it's a really beautiful way of looking at things. So we're going to move forward now into what is ready to be expressed. Where is it that you are focusing on outwardly? What is it that you're going to be expressing coming into this new week? Divine timing. You're going to be really trusting. You're going to be practicing patience, trusting, and an all-knowing. And it's hard sometimes to embrace the fact that we do know, that we do have answers. But this card a lot of times reminds me too of the Akashic Records, because we have this writing in this beautiful feathered pen, and we have this clock here, and this woman who's really embracing her joy and saying, I know where I'm going, I know where I'm headed, and there's no room for doubts here because I do know. I do have that perception, that beautiful all-knowing energy that says, I trust myself, I'm confident in where I'm headed. And the Akashic Records is something that has really changed my life for the better. I am now a teacher of the records, so I will put some links down in the description. So definitely check those out if you are feeling called. I'll probably mention it even more because it just is so near and dear to my heart. So we're going to go next to the momentum of what is fueling you during this time. What is fueling Gemini as they go through this beautiful transformation? We have healing. Okay, so I love this deck. This is more of a Celtic deck. And it's just so lovely because we have this green woman. And again, the nurturing, the stones, the standing stones, the sacred place. I mean, how beautiful is it that these are two very different decks from different parts of the world, and yet look how similar they are. You're in a circle of stones, totally and completely protected, and able to do your inner work, able to think deeply into where you're going and why you're drawn there, and think about it with confidence, saying, you know, I'm willing to release what's no longer serving me in order to move forward into what is serving me. So the next area of momentum is the blasted oak. And this is a sort of conjunction, if you will, of both the Hanging Man and the Tower card from the traditional tarot. And the meaning of this card is, if you do not make the move, then the universe must do it for you. And lightning must strike in order to get you to take a leap of faith, or you must be hanged upside down in order to see a new perspective, and sometimes fall into a trap so that you will finally heed the warnings that the universe has been putting out for you. So this is about listening to where you are guided, and it's about taking the proper steps, right? I love that we have action here with the pathways, with those new beginnings that are propelling us forward. I just feel that you're being drawn to move. You know, it could be a physical location, it could just be a business move or a relationship move, or you know, something that brings you to another step, to another place. So let's see what animals are going to be assisting you. Wow. So I mentioned the Akashic Records, and now here we have the whale spirit. And the whale is a record keeper because they are so ancient. And even to ancient cultures to where we know them today, they knew that the whales were ancient. So, I mean, hundreds of thousands of years ago, we still had whales, and we have them still. And it's just a really beautiful reminder of that ancient knowing, that all-knowing feeling that brings you confidence and allows you to rely on yourself and allows you to rely on what you know. So the Akashic Records may be calling your name. And like I said, I am a teacher of this, and I can attest to just how powerful it is to be able to just journey into the depths of the unknown and to open that crown chakra and really see while you're meditating. It's just one of the most magical things I can describe. And the next card here for you is the dog, and this is loyalty. And I feel like this is loyalty to yourself, But we also have this action card, which is right where it sits. It's like a social responsibility to manifest your dreams and goals in order to show the world that it's possible, in order to be a wayfinder in this new age, right? We really do have, you know, the astrologers are talking about the age of Aquarius, and the Christians are talking about the Star of Bethlehem. And I mean, it's just like everybody is coming together and is to kind of fight this crazy war that's been going on within us. So we're going to pull a couple more cards. Just a few here. I know I get a lot of cards on the table, but I hope you all enjoy the contrast that that brings. So we're going to put a couple more in the momentum here, because I just want to see, you know, who might come to aid you in this time and what you can be focusing on to move forward. So, oh, I just have to share with you, at the bottom of this deck here, we have the Child again. So two very different decks did have the Child here for you. So an interesting synchronicity. Some of you may be battling perhaps some fertility. Some of you may be focusing there on the children. But I think in this reading, a lot of it is like the next 7 generations and the world that's left for our children's children and things like that. So as you're empowering yourself and doing your healing journey, my goodness. Wow, the mother. Okay, so you're definitely, I mean, you may be, for some of you, you may be manifesting a child, and it's still in the manifesting process though. So it doesn't feel super close, time-wise, if that makes sense, because you're on this journey and you are here for this really beautiful greater purpose. And I feel like there might be some tunnel vision going on that's kind of creating this unwavered feeling. But what the universe here is kind of guiding you to do is focus on the maternal aspects of self and what makes that nurturing energy flow, what helps to nurture and to help grow. So as we move through that, we go into desire. And I really love this because it's this action plan. It's like having that great why. It's like, where are my goals really? What am I loyal to? What is it that I'm being called to do? And it's just a very interesting duality here. So it may just be that some of you are manifesting children and some of you are like, what are you talking about? So I feel like we switched gears. So someone is manifesting a child, that's very clear. And I do believe there's going to be news that comes in for you. But focusing on divine timing is going to be key here and really relaxing on the manifestation of it. But for others of you, this is a duality of self. And you're thinking a whole lot about starting this new cycle and being the wayfinder. You're here to see new heights and to manifest new dreams. But I think some of you may just be a little bit at odds of what that is. What is it that I am being called to do? What is my turning point? What is the, you know, the impact that I'm here to make on the world? So we have one more card here for you, and it is influence. So it's saying courtship, mutual attraction, genuine affection, natural magnetism, stimulation, and connection. Okay, so we have some relationship people here too. So there is this integration happening within you, and it's within your heart's desire and then your knowing. So it's like, how can I change this if that is the way it is, right? Like, how do I find my power and hold my power in my hands when this, that, and the other thing are going on? But on the bottom of the deck here, we have prosperity. And this is about success and having those things manifest. So this is saying, yes, you will get the things that you want. Yes, it is going to be yours, but not until you learn this here, which, you know, as a reader, I can't see anything more cliche, which is focus on the lesson, and you know, things will fall into place as divine timing permits. But on the bottom of the deck here, we have faith. And it says, believe you're not alone. Spirit is right beside you. Ask for guidance and it will come. So again, you're just being called to dive deeper into yourself, into your inner knowing, into your higher knowing as well. And let's see, I'm trying to check the bottom of decks here. Okay, so we do have this one on the bottom of the deck, and I know this is a little bit dark, but it's on the bottom of this deck here, where you're feeling loved and you're feeling proud, and you're feeling that you are nurturing and getting that nurturing back. And then we have the snake here, which is about transformation, and it says honor your mystical creative force. So your ability to manifest is really coming forward here. So looking into the reason why you manifest, so what it is you're manifesting is so important, right? Because for many of you, you hold the key and you find the path for the rest of us. It really is like you're a wayfinder. It really is like you are here to experience the struggle so that you can have the triumph. Does that make sense? So I am going to post some links down in the description box. I hope this reading was as influential for you as it was for me. I felt like this was a really connected reading. I hope you all have such a wonderful end of the year and beginning to the new year. As I mentioned, I will post some links, so if you have more questions about the awakening or about what is to come, I am here for you and I'm here to support you. So I hope to hear from you all soon, and I will see you next week.